Greetings, adventurers. Welcome back to Whisperwind. This video is sponsored by Takala, a company that makes smart at-home lighting. They make smart lights that are both beautiful and functional, inspired by nature and designed by optical experts. They are a lovely and practical addition to any home. The Arkenstone Smart Ambient Light has 9 ambient light effects, suitable for any occasion in life. It also features 16 million selectable colors, and it's freely customizable. It's been specially designed as a sleep aid lighting with a melatonin-boosting nightlight. And it can also serve as a sunrise alarm clock, where you can wake up to beautiful sunlight or your customized light every day. The sunrise alarm clock can also be accompanied with sound, and there's a snooze mode available. You just tip the light over, and the snooze will activate. Another great and super convenient feature is that you can control your smart light with an app and voice control. It's smartphone remote controlled and Alexa and Google Assistant voice controlled. So no matter where you are, you can change the color, the light, the brightness, anything like that, just using your phone. It also serves as a sleep aid with white noise. You can choose from sounds from nature or some lovely relaxing music. That's a perfect companion to sleep. It also has a sleek time display, and it syncs with real time. The light has a reflective HD casing, which allows the lights to shine much better. It also has a reminding light feature where you can set different alarms, so you'll never miss anything on your schedule again. And because it syncs with smartphones, you can control access share as well. So if you're missing your loved ones from a distance, your family and friends will know you are thinking of them as the light suddenly turns on, which is kind of special. You can even set it so that different people light up the light a different color so you know exactly who's thinking about you. This light has such a beautiful and sleek design to it, and it's been super fun to have in our own home. In fact, my kids like to fight about who gets to pick what color it's glowing at any given time. Also, a lot of the features really lend themselves well to ASMR and to relaxation. So it's been really nice to get to play around and learn all the different features and things that it can do. So if you would like your own Arkenstone or any of the other beautiful products that Takala makes, you can check out the link in the description below and use the code WHISPER to get 20% off your purchase. So thank you to Takala for sponsoring this video, and thank you for watching. Oh, hello. Welcome. Please come in. Oh, shh. Voices down, please. This is a library. I know that it's a little bit new, having this wonderful library inside of the fairy hovel. So, it's alright that you didn't know, but here we like to try to keep our voices somewhat low, so that those who are reading or studying or immersing themselves into a good book or a good scroll are not disturbed. Is this your first time visiting the library? Wonderful. Well, it's wonderful to meet you. Now, is there something specific that you're looking for in the library, or would you like to just browse? Of course, we have all kinds of books on all kinds of subjects, all kinds of wonderful things for you to explore, both on your own or with some help. I would be happy to help you find things too. You're not sure? Okay. Nothing wrong with that at all. You said it was your first time, right? Okay, would you mind if I just take down a little bit of information then? Just to get us started. Okay, wonderful. That way, if you ever come back later and would like different books, I have your information here already, and we can sort of keep a record. And then I'll be able to better recommend books that you may enjoy. Okay, so what is your name? Lovely to meet you. My name is Nyx. All right, and type of fairy that you are? I think it's pretty obvious. Okay, just don't like to assume. Your preferred pronouns? Okay. And what level of the fairy hovel do you live on? Okay, wonderful. I have a close friend who lives up there. She likes it, although I think she's thinking of moving to one of the lower, darker levels. See, she's a shadow fairy like me, so we like the darkness and the quiet, which is why I chose to work in a library. What better place, right? Alrighty. Now, what sorts of books did you think that you were looking for today? Are you hoping to get some research done? Are you hoping to find a good adventure tale or a love story to lose yourself in? Perhaps a biography of great fairies of the past? What were you thinking? Some research. Wonderful. Okay. I'd be more than happy to help you with that. Now, what sorts of topics would we be researching today? Humans. Why? Well, I mean, it's perfectly fine. You're welcome to research humans, of course. Not a topic that comes up all too often for study. I think it's more, they try to study us than us trying to study them, at least from what I know. But that's perfectly fine. Any particular reason or particular topic that you would like to know more about? You're just curious. Okay. Curiosity is a wonderful thing. It leads to all kinds of wonderful, often very exciting learning. Curious about humans. Are you sure? There's all kinds of other subjects that I could perhaps interest you in. The foliage of our beautiful forest here, perhaps the history of our fairy queen. I mean, all kinds of wonderful... No, you want to learn about humans. Okay. All right, that's perfectly fine. Okay. Let's see. What section would the humans be in? I'm actually... it may surprise you, but I've never had a request for books about humans before. What? Oh, no. I'm sure that we have some. One of the lovely perks about being a fairy is that this library has quite a bit of very useful features, including being able to sort of conjure the books on the subjects that I require. Yes, it's very, very useful. So, even if I don't perhaps have something on the shelves right now, I will in just a moment. You know what? Actually, speaking of which, that's an excellent idea. Why don't we start by consulting the Orb of Wisdom? How does that sound? Well, let me explain. It's nothing difficult. It just is, it's my orb. It glows different colors, and you hold the orb and just sort of ponder it, I guess you could say, for lack of a better term. You just ponder the orb for a little while. You think about what sort of subject, what sort of books that you would like to have, and the orb will help deliver that. All right? Okay, here, let me get my Orb of Wisdom here. It's very, very bright, you can see. Can actually make it do all kinds of things. It glows different colors. It can also help it create a very beautiful environment for reading or for sleeping or for meditation, relaxation, anything like that. It's got different sounds that are programmed in, so you can hear different beautiful bird sounds, perhaps crickets at night, if that's what you like. Being a shadow fairy, those are some of my favorite sounds. But really, whatever it is that you're looking for. So why don't you just hold out your hands there, very careful, please. You just hold that for a moment. Just ponder the orb. Yes, that's right. No, you're doing excellently. You think about the subject of humans, or whatever else you may want to find books on, and the orb will help make them appear. Yes, it's quite useful, quite useful, especially when we're just sort of getting started in our library here. Like I said, this hasn't always been something that people have wanted. Most fairies, if they're going to do research, they like to do more of the hands-on sort of research and things like that. And while, of course, that is incredibly useful, especially if you're studying things like, plants. Obviously, we have lots and lots of plants that you can study in the forest. But if you wanted to learn about things or places that were a bit more difficult to come by, then having a resource like this library is really indispensable. I'm hoping that it will really help to open the eyes of the fairies in the hovel here to the world beyond the hovel. That's the hope anyway. And you know what? That world beyond the hovel, it includes humans, doesn't it? Yes, it does. I'm glad that you came in today. All right, are you finished pondering, would you say? All right, excellent. Here, I'll take that back. Thank you, just very gently. All right, now let's see what the orb has to say. Oh. Okay. Okay. Sure. That sounds like a good place to start. All right. Sure. All right, now I need you to just place your hand on the orb here. I'll place mine up here. And think very hard about the types of books that you would like. And in just a moment, we'll see them appear before us, all right? Okay. Why don't you just take a deep breath with me? Ready? Breathe in. And out. And in. And out. One more time. In. And out. Oh, look at that. Thank you, orb. You can go. Sit over there for now. Look at these beautiful, beautiful books that the orb has given to you. Let's see what they are, shall we? This first one. Interesting. this looks like a collection of stories. Yes, a collection of short stories about the lives of humans. Perhaps about their beliefs or something like that. I suppose you'll have to tell me exactly what it is, won't you? All sorts of interesting topics in here. Some names of different humans, perhaps different heroes or the main characters of these stories. Different beasts. Some of these I recognize, some of them I definitely don't. Fascinating, fascinating. That should be a very good read. This should also be one that you can read sort of in little bite-sized nuggets. You know what I mean? You don't have to sit down and just read the whole thing from start to finish if you don't want to. You could read just one of the stories, or perhaps two in an evening. And then if you wanted to put it aside for a little while, you're welcome to do that. Read another story, or, perhaps just come back to it the next night. That sounds like a very good read. And it should give sort of a good variety of information about the lives of humans. You can tell a lot about a certain type of people by the stories that they tell. We're all made of stories. You and me, the elves, the humans, the other races of this land, even the trees. The forest itself is made of stories. So a book like this, a book full of different stories, should be quite insightful into the mind of humans. I would think, at least. What an excellent choice. Excellent place to start, don't you think? Me too. Alright, so there's that one for you. Let's see, what else do we have here? Another perhaps unassuming looking one, but let's take a peek inside, shall we? A history of Maladia? Maladia? How do you think you would say that? That word right there. Maladia, you think? Perhaps. Sounds like the name of what do the humans call them? A country? A kingdom? An empire? They have all sorts of names for the same thing. It's actually quite confusing. Why not just call it a hovel? Anyway, a history of whatever sort of place or thing this Melodia, I don't know. Wherever that place is, it sounds like this is a history of that place. So hopefully you will get quite a lot of information over many, many years with the lives of people who lived in this Maladia. The more I say it, that's starting to sound right. Maladia. It's almost sort of melodic, isn't it? I wonder if that was intentional. There's probably no way to know. All right. Yes, it looks like we're getting sort of a history of the different kings that ruled. Oh, so it must be a kingdom. If there are kings ruling, then that means it's a kingdom, I believe. Different kings that ruled, different wars, different historical events that happened. Ooh, migrations. That sounds interesting. Fascinating. So this should be a good resource just to sort of give you kind of an overview of what the kingdom of... How did we say it was said? That's right. Maladia, we believe. Maladia. We shall see. We shall see. That should be quite an interesting read as well. I wonder where this Maladia is. If the orb decided that you needed this book, it's probably somewhere that isn't too far, I would think. Oh, there's a scroll here. Let's take a look at this one too. Let's see what this is. This might be... Let's see what this is. It's a map. It's a map of the kingdom, I was right, of Maladia. Wonderful. Look. Look at this lovely map there. You can see all sorts of names of different cities. You know, I wonder if this forest is where we are. I've never really seen a map of the rest of the world, you know, seeing as we fairies don't generally really go outside of the forest. Wait, Whisperwind, that city, that little village there. There are a few fairies, I think, who have met some of the humans who live there. So this must be very close to us. So we must be somewhere in here, in these trees. Whisperwind here, sort of on the edge of the forest. And then you can look at this map of all other different kinds of places. Fascinating. Oh, yes. Namasera. That's the elf city that's in the forest. Have you ever been there? No, that's fine. That's perfectly fine. Not all fairies venture that far into the forest. Quite a few fairies like to stay closer to home, closer to the hovel, I guess. But it is quite a fascinating place. Elves are quite fascinating people. The magic that they use, it's very compartmentalized, I suppose. They don't seem to just do magic like you and I do. They have to study it and have these different tools and things. It actually seems rather sad. Poor little elves. But at least they have magic, I suppose. Anyway, so this must be a little companion piece. So you can take this. You can check this out as well with the book of the history of... That's right. Maladia, yes. So you take that. I'll roll this back up too. You can take this with you. Should be a bit gentle with this one, I think. It looks like it's perhaps had better days, I guess. That's all right. It is wonderful of the orb to find it for us. Thank you, orb. All right, so there's a book of stories, a book of history, and a map to go with this fascinating kingdom. Let's see, what else did the orb bring you? Now this looks quite different from our other two books. This looks almost a little more like a book that you would actually find in the library here. Looks like a beautiful rendition of the night sky on a very clear, very dark night. One of my absolute favorites, obviously, as a shadow fairy. You can see the stars, the different clouds, all the different bodies in the heavens that cause all of these lovely renditions of colors. I would highly doubt that most humans have even seen a sky like this before. They all have their big cities, even in villages with all the torch lights and all the hustle and bustle. You don't necessarily get to see the sky unfiltered, unbridled by the light in the same way that we do here in the forest. But it's quite lovely, isn't it? Well, let's see. Let's see what this book is about, shall we? Oh, this book is actually written in Elven. Can you read Elven? Good, good, good. I know most fairies can. It's just one of those sort of innate things that we can all do. That's good. That's good. So it does appear that this one is written in Elven. Human Studies, first course. Interesting. So perhaps in the Elven cities, perhaps in Namasera, perhaps in one of the other ones. I've heard rumor of another one that's not too far from here, but of course you know the elves, they like to rather keep to themselves. But perhaps in their cities they actually have classes, people who study humans as well. Maybe you really should go to Namasera. Maybe you'd fit in. Yes, Human Studies, first course. An overview of human beliefs, culture, language, and physique. Interesting. Well, that seems quite comprehensive, doesn't it? Fascinating. You know, the last I was in Namasera, I don't remember when it was. Elves keep track of time so differently than we fairies do. I guess to them, I mean, their lives are longer than humans, but they're still so short compared to ours. For me, it wasn't too long ago, but for them it must have been, probably, well, not all that short ago. The last I was there, they had just sort of banished humans or cut off ties with them. It was all still a bit strange sounding to me. I'm not sure why you would decide that an entire race of beings that you used to be so close with all of a sudden is, you shouldn't be close with them anymore. I mean, fairies, we don't particularly like humans, but we have very good reason for it. But unfortunately, it's always been that way. But the elves and the humans, they used to be friends, and then all of a sudden they weren't. I wonder if human studies is a very important, popular class. Perhaps it isn't these days. Maybe it will be again. All it takes is one curious elf asking the right questions, right? Just like one curious fairy asking the right questions. Our fairy library here had nothing by way of humans. Not that the orb knew of, which means that it wasn't here. So you have already enriched all of us, asking your questions, conjuring these fascinating books of the lives and stories of humans. It should be quite interesting. You know, when you bring these back, perhaps I'll check them out for a bit, See what I can learn about those funny little humans too, huh? All right, well, it looks like that is all that the orb has conjured for you. Is there anything else that I can help you find? Would you like to consult the orb again? Perhaps it could find some other resources? A good start. I think you're right. I think that this is enough to keep you busy without perhaps overwhelming you. Sometimes going to a library is so exciting that you tend to pick up, 5 or 10 or more resources. And then you get them home and you realize you don't have enough time to go through all of them. Or you don't even know where to begin. Yes, definitely not speaking from experience there. Anyway, 3 books and a map to consult. That sounds like a good place to start in your research. And then perhaps the next time you come back here and you choose to ponder the orb once more, maybe you'll have more specific questions. Sometimes it's not so much about not having the answers, but it starts with not even having the questions. If you don't even know what to ask, how are you going to find the answers? So perhaps this will give you a good overview and will help you sort of decide which way you would like your studies to take. Excellent. Let's get these titles written down. Now, generally, we let people keep materials for about a moon. So next moon, you'll have to bring these back. And then if you're not finished with them, as long as there isn't demand for any of them, which I'm guessing there's not going to be with this particular topic, then you could renew it as well. And then you could have it for another moon and then bring it back. But hopefully a moon will be a good enough time to sort of digest this information a little bit. Maybe you'll even be back sooner and find something new. Wonderful. And of course, you're welcome to check out all different kinds of materials too. You could start with researching humans, and then if you'd like more of a story, an adventure tale, or a love story, or something like that, of course we can check that out at the same time. Or if you'd like to research something a little more conventional. But then again, I'm rather intrigued to see what you learn from all of these fascinating books. So, let's write these titles down, shall we? All right. So this one, Human Studies, first course. All right. I'm not going to take the time to write down all of the subtitles and everything. You'll know what it is. I'll know what it is. We'll just make a note that one is in Elven. Now, would you like a translation stone or any other resources on Elven? I know for some fairies it comes easier than others. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. We do have quite a few resources that could help if you require it. You're okay. All right. If you change your mind at any point, you let me know. All right. Okay. And then we have this one. The History of Melodia. Let's just go with Melodia, shall we? Let's just pick one. Melodia. All right. A History of Melodia. Perfect. And then we have our map here as well. This one, I think I will very much enjoy poring over. Maybe when you bring it back, you could even go over it with me, and you could tell me some about what you've learned of the different cities, the different regions of the places on this map. Would you? Thank you. I would love that. Map, Kingdom of Melodia. Fabulous. And then our last book. Another quite intriguing one, isn't it? The collection of stories from the world of the humans. What is this one actually called? A wonder book. Well, that's quite exciting sounding, isn't it? A wonder book. A book full of wonders, new people to meet, adventures to have, beasts to slay, damsels to save. You never know. A wonder book. Excellent. All right, well, I think that should do it for today. Unless there's something else that I can help you find. No, that's a good start. I think you're right. I think you're right. Well, here, why don't you take those then? There's your new books that you can peruse at your leisure. Now, is there anything else that I can maybe keep my eyes open for you after you're gone, and then, you know, when you come back, I can show you? You're not sure yet. That's perfectly fine. Like I said, perusing these books, perhaps you'll find the correct questions, and then we can look for the answers together. Good. Well, I'm glad that you came in today. Yes, this has been quite lovely. You have sparked my own imagination, my own curiosity into things that I wasn't necessarily curious about before. It will be fun. There's quite a big wide world out there, isn't there? Beyond just the safety of the hovel. So much to be discovered. I can't wait to do it with you. All right, well, you'd better get going for now. You have quite a lot of reading to do, don't you? But I have a feeling I'll be seeing you before too much longer. All right, well, you enjoy your afternoon, and I'll see you next time. Where was I? There we go. Lonely house. Some lonely house. Robert liked to look. Wooden board, windows hanging low, inviting to look. Where two could creep, one hand the tools, the other peep to make sure all is asleep. It's not easy to surprise how orderly the kitchen would look by night. But they began the tick and mice walked by. The walls dropped down and the parents spectacled the door. Star, the moon, slides down the stairs to see who's there. There's plunder, ware, tankard, or spoon, earring, stone, watch, some ancient brooch, demanding the girl above, stayed sleeping there. Day rattles too, stealth slow. The sun has gone as far as the third sycamore. Screams chanticleer, who's there? And echoes, trains away, sneer, where? While the old couple just astir, fancy the sunrise left at the door ajar.